in that. So welcome to our breathing space mindfulness meditation for today, which is the 7th of September. And as I see you all kind of getting yourselves established, today's practice is going to be body scan. And the absolute basic foundation body scan practice actually comes from this book here. If I can get my computer to focus on it. It's the textbook that's used when you're training to learn to teach mindfulness. It is really the textbook upon which all other mindfulness-based courses are kind of derived or adapted from. The team who wrote this book, Mark Williams, John Teasdale, and Zindel Segal, are the three kind of founding fathers of mindfulness in Britain, from the Oxford Mindfulness and Bangor University kind of base in Britain. And if anybody anywhere in the world learns how to teach MBSR, this book features somewhere in the training. It's also used by people who effectively do mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. That's a more clinical application. And then there's the MBSR, which is kind of derived from that, which I'm trained in. And so it's today the basic standard breathing space version of the body scan. And just a chance to tune into the body, to get out of living in your head. So often we live in our heads. We're living in a world where we have so many distractions and things pulling our attention, and things telling us that we need to strive towards a certain way of being, which creates a lot of judgment and sense of failure or success or whatever, stress. And just slow things down today. Focus on the body, on the sensations within the body. And through that, develop more of an awareness of when we're thinking and when we're not, when we're more focused on things in the body. Even just that awareness is a key foundation towards making choices that will enhance your well-being. And of course, that means we can also pay attention on purpose in the present moment, and focus where we want the attention to be as we move attention and curiosity around all different parts of the body. And of course, the mind will wander. And of course, we will have thinking going on. Am I doing this right? I don't feel the way I want to. I wish I was more relaxed. I wish I was more awake. All sorts of things come up during a body scan. I don't like this sensation. Why am I not feeling anything in this area? Why can't I feel my big toe? All sorts of questions come up. So as we focus on the body, we can be more aware of the thoughts that come up. We don't need to follow them. We don't need to get caught up in them. Just observe them. Oh, there's thinking. Come back to the body. So we have a nice practice of recognizing thinking, unhooking from that thinking, and coming back into the body. And that gives us a more measured relationship with our thoughts, with any emotions that might come up, with any impulses, even boredom. So the intention today is just to be with the body. And you might also just invite, as best you can, to stay with the body as the foundation of today's practice. And at its most basic, just rest. Rest in the body, rest in the breath. And I know one of us today participating is walking through a forest right now. So you can adapt the practice. If you're sitting, if you're standing, if you're walking around, just try and keep your attention focused as much as possible in the physical sensations in the body while you do the practice. But when I say to people, if you want to, close your eyes, If you're walking through a forest, maybe keep your eyes open. Yeah. Okay. So here we go with our practice. So first of all, just taking up a posture, if possible, lying down. It's a traditional posture for a body scan, but you could also be sitting or standing or walking through a forest. We can always adapt our practice to connect with the body, whatever way the body is arranged. Our coming into posture is more just an awareness that we are entering this place of paying attention on purpose in the present moment with curiosity and with kindness. Just taking a few moments to find the movement of the breath. And then through that, the wider awareness of just the general sensations of the body right now. Letting go of words, coming into a place where we're just tuned into physical sensation. Maybe checking in with your energy levels. On a spectrum, you might be energized, or at the other end, really tired, or somewhere in between. Part of that might be connecting to whether you're right now are kind of activated or whether you're calm. Remembering both are perfectly okay. Just noticing what's here. And we could also tune into, I suppose, what's called the feeling tone. Mark Williams uses that term a lot. The feeling tone, your emotional state right now. Again, on a spectrum, contented, things feel good, pleasant. On the other end of that spectrum, might feel a bit uncomfortable, uneasy. So just checking physical energy levels, checking into your feeling tone, your emotional weather of today. It's also possible that you feel very connected today, that it's very easy to tune into the physical, the emotional. Or it might be that today you're actually feeling a little bit numb or foggy, and that's okay too. We can make that our practice today, just being with whatever you are experiencing in body and emotions today. Just recognize, though, you know, what is your state of being right now. And we also, of course, have the mind. So there might be something going on in your mind today that's very very demanding, pulling your attention always into thinking. So recognize that that is here if it is. Today is a busy mind day. Today I've got a lot on my mind. I've got a lot of thinking. Maybe it keeps going back to one particular theme or topic. Just allow that to be recognized as well. So in our body scan practice, we're just setting an intention to connect more with our physical sensations. We're not trying to change the way we feel. We're not trying to achieve a sense of calm or relaxation. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What's more important is rather than striving for a particular outcome and maybe feeling, oh, I'm not doing this right, or if only I could do this better, I might be more relaxed, or I'm not doing this well, I've got a head full of thoughts. Instead, could we just let go of that striving, that craving, or even the aversion, the resistance to what we don't want? And if we can just open a curiosity to connecting with our real, authentic experience of now, allowing things to be. And we can begin this just by acknowledging what's here in the body, the mind, the emotions, maybe even impulses. And it's okay to have a sense of I like the way I feel or I don't. We're not trying to be neutral. We're just, if you've got a sense of, oh, I quite like the way I feel right now, just at least recognize that. And if you're like, oh God, I just feel, connecting to the body today is going to be so hard. It's like going to be really challenging. Recognize that too. Know that you're going to be bringing a lot of kindness and compassion to yourself as you go through your practice. Hmm. So, having kind of tuned in to how you're feeling in your body and your emotions and your mind, let's see if we can now just let that all go, right? Doesn't mean you stop thinking or that you stop feeling. Just means that we allow that to be tuned down in our awareness and we, like as if we're turning the dial down and we turn up the dial as we tune into the body and particularly where the body makes contact with whatever surface you're connected to. If you're walking through a forest, you could connect to your feet walking on the forest floor or your skin in contact with the air around you. If you're lying, just feeling that bed or mat or cushion and all the places it connects to the body. But the sense that whether you're moving, sitting, lying, You're supported and connected and grounded by this contact with earth, surface, mat, cushion. You can let go a little bit of effort. Allow that movement or surface to support you a little bit. Noticing the body breathing, feeling that in breath and that out breath. On an in breath, on an out breath, just inviting the legs to feel a little bit heavier. Inviting the legs to relax, allowing their weight to be supported by chair or bed or cushion or mat. Breathing in and breathing out. Just inviting the arms to feel a little bit heavier. Let go of the effort of today. Just allow them to relax. Breathe a little bit of softness into those arms. Allow the chair, the bed, to receive the weight of your arms. And breathing in, breathing out, allowing the head and the neck to relax a little bit. Even if you're sitting or walking, just seeing if we can get a sense of that sweet spot of balance where the spine and the neck feel effortless. If we're lying down, just allow the head and the neck to be received and held by the cushion, the chair, mat. And then finally, inviting attention towards the torso, breathing in and breathing out, and just allowing the back, the pelvis to relax that little bit, to let go of effort, tension. Allow that whole body now to be held, received, supported. Just taking a moment or two to just be effortless, breathing, just aware of your body having nothing to do. Remember, there's no goal we're striving for. And if there's a sense of striving towards relaxation, like really pushing your body to relax when it doesn't want to, just let that go. Just be with whatever energy you have today. And if you can just invite the body towards an easing around any tension, just breathe some softness around anywhere that feels tense or agitated or restless. And as much as you can, just connect with that surface, the floor, the mat that's holding you, supporting you. But certainly, if there's any tendency to try and force the body to relax, you kind of understand how you can't force yourself to relax. You just have to be with the way you feel. Relax around that. Connecting more to the breathing now. Connect to the movement of breathing in and breathing out. Whatever you find around that, just staying with this, returning again and again to the next in breath, the next out breath, place without words, just the movement of the body as the breath comes in, as the breath goes out. And it doesn't matter if you're thinking, oh, I was supposed to be on my breathing and now I'm thinking, well, it's okay. Remember, we're paying attention with curiosity and kindness. So, of course, the mind will wander. That's what minds do. But here we are practicing connecting to body and getting it out of the busy mind. So, when we notice that thinking, we just go, oh, yeah, they're thinking. Well done for noticing that, being aware that I'm thinking. But let's choose now to just go back to feeling the movement of the in breath and the out breath in my body. If you're walking through the forest right now, you can still tune into your breathing, and it's a great way of knowing that really there's no particular way that we should be breathing right now. If you're walking, your breath will be obviously a little bit faster in order to give your body the oxygen it needs to move, but we can still feel that breathing alive in the body. If you're lying down, depending on your mood, your emotional state, your body might be breathing fast or slow, deep or shallow. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you can invite this tuning into, this connection with the movement of the breathing just as it is right now. It's also possible by now, this having to be still and this having to focus on the movement of breath might bring up a reaction, maybe a sense of discomfort, of restlessness, an impulse to get up and run away, whatever, a judgment. "Oh, I can't do this. This is really uncomfortable today." Or it might be that you're beginning to feel really sleepy and tired. And then you're judging yourself because you can't stay focused and awake. Either way, what's happening is you're beginning to become aware of your energy, of your impulses. Well done for being more tuned in to how your body is feeling right now, to your energy levels. So be kind around that and just say, well done for noticing the restlessness, the numbness, the fidgety, the impulse. But if possible, can we just try deliberately, intentionally to just allow it to happen, but as best you can, return your attention to the breathing, even just for one breath at a time. So just staying with your breathing under these words as I introduce the next part of the practice. Maybe today, for you, you just want to stay here, resting on your breath, noticing your thinking, coming back to your breath. It's okay. You just continue like that as we go through the practice. But if you're open, let's go forward into the next part, which is a more specific moving of attention from different, place to place around the body. Yeah, it's the best you can, just following the guidance, whatever you find. We're not looking for anything in particular. We're just curious as we move the spotlight of attention around the body. What do we find? What's it like just to keep our attention focused in that particular area and just notice if there's any thoughts, any reactions. Notice any sensations, if they're intense or subtle, large or small. So we begin by inviting an awareness from the breathing, the abdomen, the chest, with an in-breath and an out-breath, just moving that attention, that spotlight, as if you were going all the way down your leg, left leg, down the thigh, through the knee, all the way down through the calf, the ankle. We arrive in the left foot. And as best you can, let's go further. Let's take that spotlight into the really specific area of the toes of the left foot. As you arrive, just inviting a curiosity into any sensations, physical, in the body that you find in those toes. Maybe a sense of temperature. And at this time of year when things are still perhaps a little bit warmer, are your toes, can you tell if your toes are open to the air? If they're in socks or shoes, just through any senses of contact with air, with sock, with shoe. Maybe there's a sense of tingling or buzzing. Even if you don't feel much at all, just invite your curiosity to rest in those toes. And as you stay there, just being curious, just notice what happens. If there's any thoughts, reactions, emotions that come up, judgment, liking, disliking, we can, of course, acknowledge these, right? They happen, they're part of our experience. But then, as I said, you've got like a mixing desk. You can recognize that noise coming through from the thinking, the emotions. We can then just like dial that down and dial back into the sensation in the toes. So let's breathe in now. As we breathe in, recognize everything that we've experienced, staying with the toes. On an out breath, we can let that go. On the next in breath, expanding your curiosity to now include the whole of your left foot. We could be sensing into the skin, the muscles, the bones. If you're walking, even just noticing whenever each left foot steps on the ground, paying particular attention to that left foot. If you're walking right now, Thich Nhat Hanh talks about mindful walking as being like kissing the ground with your feet. So just tuning into that sense of your feet kissing the ground with every step. So we notice as we sit with our left foot that sometimes sensations can be very strong, intense, very easy to notice. Sometimes they can be very subtle. Seeing if you can find something that feels a little bit more subtle. Or maybe even parts where you don't feel very much at all. And then on an in-breath, noticing, there might be thoughts, reactions coming up. We can notice them, recognize them too, but just breathe in to recognize them, breathe out to let them go. On another in-breath, expanding to take in both feet into your curiosity. Just sense into both feet, the sensations in the skin, the muscles, the bones. On an in-breath, we can recognize everything that we've experienced while connecting with those feet. On an out-breath, we can deliberately just let that go. And then on another in-breath, expanding awareness now into the legs. Let's start with our lower legs. So we could just imagine the spotlight coming up through the ankles, through the calves, the shins, up to the knees. Again, just tuning into skin, to muscles, to bones, being curious, noticing any sensations in the legs there. Yeah, and there might be a sense of temperature. Maybe there's different types of contact, maybe contact with the bed or the mat you're lying on, maybe also contact with air or with clothing. Can you even discern maybe the difference in those types of pressure, contact on the skin? Maybe can you feel the bone, the solidity of the bone, two bones actually going through the lower leg? Certainly we can notice one. I'm not sure we can notice two. And in the muscles, sometimes we feel ease and sometimes we feel tension. So partly what we're doing is just noticing what that feels like. And you might notice and go, oh, yeah, there's some tension. I wonder what that feels like. And just tune in, be curious if you can. Does the tension come from a particular location? Does it have a particular quality? Is it a tugging, a pulling, a aching? Well, how would you describe it? And then also we can breathe a little bit of softness around it, some kindness. Same if you're feeling you don't know, you can't feel anything at all, or maybe you're just like, oh, I'm so bored with this. I really hate the body scan. I wish I was doing anything right now apart from having to sit here feeling into my thighs and my calves, and we've been here for so long. We're only to the lower legs. All of that, any of that, just breathe some kindness into those thoughts and say, yep, we're taking this as slowly as we can, noticing what happens. Just see if I can gently bring my attention back into those lower legs. Often, like when we watch YouTube, in today's world, we've got so many things where things are streamed, YouTube and Netflix, and we can just go, oh, this bit's boring. I'll just fast forward. Oh, I don't like this bit. I'll just skip through. Well, here we are in the body scan. We're practicing what it's like not to skip through, to sit with the boredom, to sit with the restlessness, and just allow yourself to connect to those feelings. Just notice what it's like when you slow everything down. So we can breathe in to notice and recognize everything that we've experienced while keeping our curiosity in the lower legs. On an out breath, we can just let all that go. And then on another in breath, we can move our attention now up through the knees and into the thighs, the upper legs, and the pelvic region, buttocks. Big bony cradle of the pelvis and those huge strong bones of the upper thighs. Maybe seeing if you can get a sense of just the girth of your thighs, the muscles, the skin, some of the strongest muscles in the body here. If you're walking, you can feel how the pelvis moves and the hips with each step. If you're sitting, you can feel the weight of your body through your seat, through your buttocks and the bones of the pelvis. And if you're lying down, just noticing how those legs and buttocks are held and supported by whatever surface you're lying on. Maybe now we've been sitting for about half an hour, maybe a little bit over. You might feel that, sitting is, yeah, the weight of the body is beginning to be really felt through the seat. Or if you've been lying down, maybe you're asleep by now. Again, on the thighs, we can notice sensations in skin, temperature, clothing. Just be curious of all those subtle and delicate sensations, as well as the really strong and intense sensations. And maybe by now you're finding the body scan pleasant or maybe unpleasant or even boring. That's wonderful. All of them. Just sit with what's it like to be bored? What's it like to be with the unpleasant? If you're sitting with the pleasant, even just be curious to what that's like. And just bring a recognition, a kindness, a softness to what you're feeling. Then come back to focus into the legs, sensations there. So in our little mental mixing desk, you have always that, like you're the sound engineer, you're always trying to tune into your legs. And then sometimes somebody turns up the thinking volume or the emotion volume, and oh, there's a reaction, there's a thought. You go, okay, I've recognized that, but now I'm going to turn that one down and I'm going to go back to tuning up the connection to physical sensation. Just learning how to regulate yourself between the mind that always thinks and the emotions that always react. Then tuning that down, coming back to simply being with any sensations in the whole of the legs. Now let's breathe in. Recognize all of that. Breathe out. Let it go. On the next in breath, you can tune into the back. So the muscles that rise up from the pelvis, the lower back, the upper back, even into your shoulders. Once again, we can just begin by saying, okay, what's going on in the skin? If you're lying down, maybe the sense of warmth or a feeling of the type of surface that's beneath you, soft or hard. Maybe you feel cushions or the contours of whatever you're sitting on. And maybe that's then transferred into the muscles. And of course, the sense of the bones of the spine. And if you're walking, the sense of the back as it moves with your movement of walking. It's really feeling how, the mechanics of walking through the pelvis and the hips is transferred to kind of counterbalance that happens through the back and the shoulders. We can tune in also to whether our shoulders are tense, relaxed. We can tune in a bit to whether we're hunched, whether the chest is open or closed. Again, if we feel any tension or pain or discomfort, if we can allow it, just tune in to knowing it better, befriending it, but also offering softness around it. If there's anywhere in the back that feels comfortable or even just neutral, seeing if we can also recognize that and tune into how that feels too. Any thinking that's coming up, reactions, resistance to something you find, or a clinging, a craving for something. I wish my body was more this or less that. I wish I could do more with my attention, or I wish I wasn't distracted or tired or restless or whatever. Just recognize those reactions are normal. When John Kabat-Zinn says paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment, he means we know there's judgment there. We wouldn't be human if we didn't have that. But we can choose to be aware of it without hanging on to it. Yeah, there's some judgment arriving. okay, there's judgment, but now I'm going to step back from it and come back to just noticing what that feeling is of boredom, of restlessness, of striving, of resistance. Just make it part of your practice with kindness, with compassion. Hmm. So we'll take a breath in, recognize all of that. Take a breath out, and on the next in breath, we can come up into the head, the neck, throat, the jaw, face. As we land here with our attention, just noticing what draws your attention. Maybe the head resting on a pillow, maybe a sensation of the tongue in the mouth, or checking in to see if your jaw is relaxed or tense. Maybe a sense of the temperature of the skin of the face, any tension around the eyebrows or the eyes. Maybe any sensations of tingling or buzzing. You've just the sensation of the air coming in and out of your nose. And whatever we find here again, just seeing if we can, the best that we can, just rest a kind of intentional curiosity into really exploring those sensations, the pleasant and the unpleasant. They're both normal parts of life. They both deserve to be listened to as best that we can. Maybe there's a headache. But what type of a headache is it? Is it in the back of the neck? Is it in the forehead? Is it one side or the other? Is it a tingling headache, a pulsing headache? Or maybe you've got tension. Where is it? Is it deep in certain muscles? How does it feel? Equally, you might tune into really delicate, maybe the touch of eyelids or the touch of your lips. Something delicate and subtle and maybe even pleasant. Now we could take a breath in and a breath out. We can connect maybe to your arms, the upper arms, lower arms. Just remember that you've got arms at the sides of your body. Sense into elbows, wrists, skin and muscles. Then into hands, palms, fingers, the backs of your hands. A sense of your hands are warm or cold. Again, just lingering to notice if there's any reaction, a liking or a disliking, a comfort or discomfort. And if we can, just being curious about the physical sensations within that, with kindness, with softness. And from here, with an in breath, with an out breath, we can arrive again back in the whole body, breathing, the whole body lying down or sitting or moving. There's no right way or wrong way to be. So, whatever you notice as you arrive, you land back into this whole body. Can we just be curious and connect to the physical sensation of the movement of breathing, the manifestation of emotion in the body through temperature or pulse or perspiration, coldness, warmth, gut, breathing. Connect to the body supported by mat or chair. It's okay. It's okay to feel comfort. It's okay to feel discomfort. It's not nice. There's always a natural tendency to want to push it away, but can we accept it as just part of our normal human experience? Remembering our job as in a body scan, we're not trying to fix or change. We're trying to connect and know our body better, connect to our emotions and our thoughts that arise, our relationship with what we find, and just observe it, know it better. So as you sit here or lie here or walk here and you're just feeling the breathing, you're feeling the body, it is absolutely okay to be thinking, judging, resisting, worrying, striving, craving, liking or disliking. It's okay. Well done for noticing what is present right now. But also recognize that you can at any time choose where to focus your attention. You can dial down those thoughts and you can dial in more just to the sensations that are underneath them. You can choose to simply connect to breathing, pulsing, tingling, temperature, pressure, bone, muscle, and skin. Very often we experience life through the mind. The body scan gives us a chance to experience life through the body, through physical sensation. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just at the end, just to stay with that idea. Let, let the idea go. Just be with the body and the breath. So before we just finish the practice, remember there are various things that you can bring to this practice. First of all, it's just a beautiful break from a life where we're constantly thinking, doing, planning, problem solving, just to relax in the body. Even if the body's not relaxed, just to be with physical sensations is already a break, a relief from the constant doing of life. And second of all, it's a way of tuning into body because the body knows how you're feeling, your emotional state. You can tune into to knowing if you're hungry, thirsty, tired, energized. So we get to know the body better. We can be more tuned to our own needs, well-being, our discomfort as well as our comfort. And then underneath that, we can tune more into our emotions. And we have this beautifully embodied place from which we can then be more aware of what's going on in our mind. So the body scan really is the foundation of all mindfulness practice. And as we come to the end of today, we're about to go into maybe a bit of a discussion between us of what we've experienced. But if you're watching on a video, you could just jot something down. And then as you do the practice, maybe over time, you begin to notice there are patterns or shifts in the way that you're feeling. So well done for doing your practice. Give yourself a pat on the back. And I'll end our recording right there.